Yo, beautiful and clean child of God. Welcome on today's show. Before we dive in and take a look at the mind blowing, life changing videos that we have today, hear this first. Our message from the Book of Wisdom. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That is from Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. What a wonderful word, my friend. Let's give thanks for that first. Thank you, wonderful Father, for life. Thank you, dear Lord, for this day, Father. Thank you for the words from the book of wisdom. Thank you for your precious child, today's viewer, Father. Thank you for the experience that we shall have together with them today, Father. Thank you, dear Lord, for health. Thank you, dear Lord, for this chance to spread love. We give you glory for everything. Thank you for the unseen blessings in our lives, Father. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Child of God, with love, good vibes, patience, forgiveness, and unity. Let's dive in.
Just so you know, an octopus is an alien. And what happened was an alien egg hitched onto a tardigrade, and that tardigrade came into our dimension and started eating on some grass and fell into the ocean. And then that octopus alien egg hatched, and now we have octopuses here. But they're ultimately always trying to get back to their dimension, and they're stuck here in this world purgatory. And it's really sad. Unfortunately, we can't figure out which dimension they're from and which planet they're from to get them back. We've been communicating with them. We've been using dolphins as interpreters to try and understand what their planet looked like, what it sounded like, what star system it's in. But there's just so many disconnects, and there's so many light years of technology that we don't have, that it's going to take a while for us to get octopuses back to their planet. But we're doing our best. We're doing our best. It is an absolute top issue, and we're here with you, Octopi. Sorry that so many people eat you. I think that's super fucked up.
Why do people eat octopuses? I feel like those things can talk.
Who's the maker and why did they build this shit? I understand that they trying to find a quicker route to get across the ocean, but we talking about underwater 6,845 meters? Now, if you can't motherfucking swim, this bridge is not for you, because if you break down on this motherfucker, you gonna be there for a while. This bridge is supposed to cut travel from 2 hours to just 30 minutes. But looking at that traffic, it don't look like it's 30 minutes here. All I can think about is, what if an earthquake hit? What if a tsunami approaches? What if a boat just starts drifting the wrong way and smack into this motherfucker? All I'm gonna say is, count me out. China once again shows the world why their engineering is number one, as they have the longest tunnel undersea water bridge known to man. It looks real good at nighttime, but count me out. With traffic like this, I'll take the scenic route. Catch you on the other side.
Myself, I would also fear using that bridge, but it looks incredible.
Ladies and gents, welcome to China, Chengdu. Check out the pandas. You don't find that impressive?
Very
Let me show
impressive.
you something impressive over here. Check out those buildings.
Oh, God!
There's the Twin Tower. But now it's not lit up nicely.
Ay, wow, guy, this is a real place.
， And that rubbish India, wanna say, they are
Guy,
better than
ay,
better than China.
ay, you mean this is a real place?
Delusionals.
And the people living in that building not affected by the light?
Tell me what you think I3 Atlas is.
Absolutely, Preston. So for the TikTok crowd, here's the rundown. I3 Atlas is basically an interstellar visitor, a space object from another star system that wandered into our solar neighborhood. It's like a cosmic tourist just passing through. And in our little symbolic world, it's a perfect metaphor for something truly outside your usual loops. something that comes from beyond and changes your perspective just by passing through. So that's the vibe.
So why is it perfectly calibrated to go right behind the sun so the Earth can't see it and all that? Explain it deeper.
Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into that. So what's fascinating about I3 Atlas, both literally and symbolically, is that it's on this very particular trajectory that takes it behind the sun from Earth's vantage point. In other words, there are moments when it's effectively invisible to us, like it's slipping through a blind spot in our observational field. Symbolically, that's like a pattern or an influence that's just out of direct sight, something that moves through the places you're not looking and still leaves an imprint.
Something interesting is about to come up. These are the files, my friend, the instant files, and the mysteries that lies beneath them. Look at these photos. Wow! And all this is allegedly, my friend. We are not sure about this, but look.
Someone tell me why the Vatican secrets are tied into the Jeffrey Epstein book along with esoteric knowledge in UAPs and UFOs. Mind you, in the last book, I showed you how there were Harvard physicists and scientists that wrote equations in this book that pertain to using astrology, birth chart information, and this stuff called quasi-species to align your DNA to different spots in the universe using dimensional analysis to basically say they could use the occult and magic and astrology to get whatever they want. By far, the weirdest shit in this book, besides all the letters about girls, the rabbi's daughter, which I'm going to show you, but let's talk about the mention of the chronovisor, which is a deep, dark Vatican secret. Never in a million years did I think my Secrets of the Vatican's video would link up with the Epstein book in any way, but this shit is getting dark. And also, this book talks about how there's evidence of UFOs and equations that these Harvard scientists came together and put on a board and took a picture of and put in this book. And side note, what if that's what Jeffrey Epstein has on everybody? Real UFO evidence and UAP proof, because he was a part of Epstein Institute, which was a scientific research base. So here's a picture, and this was drawn in the book, and at the top it says no excuses, and it says no. It has like these two people who I could assume one is Donald Trump. I don't know what it is, but this picture gives me Donald Trump. Mind you, they said Donald Trump was a fucking time traveler. And there's evidence that Donald Trump is a time traveler. I'm not even joking. But the drawing says, no, I will not stop the chronometer. Keep going. And then it says, too fast, too much. Please stop. When I heard chronometer, I already knew they were talking about the fucking chronovisor. Let me tell you what a chronometer is. A chronometer is a highly accurate and stable timepiece, originally a marine navigation instrument for determining longitude, that has passed rigorous precision tests in various temperatures and positions. It often refers to a watch. Mind you, it says stop the chronometer, please. It's too fast. So they would not be talking about a watch, but they would be talking about the chronovisor. And at the top of that picture, mind you, it says no excuses. And that fucking thing looks like Donald Trump. So what is a chronovisor? Chronovisor is one of the deepest, darkest secrets of the Vatican. It is said that they had this instrument, and this man right here was the creator of time fucking travel, and that's what the chronovisor is. Said to have been created by Father Pelagio Ornetti, a monk, physicist, and he was a fucking exorcist. It was described as a machine that used electromagnetic echoes to tune into past events, reconstructing sounds and images from history. Also sounds like the chronometer with precision and how accurately it was able to, predict longitudes. Ornetti claimed to have seen events such as the Passion of Christ and other historical monuments. And he alleged to have a photography of Jesus. This chronovisor was said to be a secret of the Vatican because they took it and tried to make the story look fake the same way they did Roswell, Mexico. This Roman Catholic priest that was born in the year 1925, who had dedicated his life to Christianity from a young age and was a physicist, said that he had this machine and used it. This machine was at the Vatican and that's where he got it from, and all type of weird shit, and saying that it's basically still fucking there. Oh yeah, but that's not the craziest thing. Apparently there is a picture in this book, right, in the 50th birthday book from Epstein, of Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein Institute with this weird equation. Here's the image of that book, and then right under it is the chalkboard where they were working out the equation. Here's the photo of what I put into ChatGPT directly from the fucking book, and y'all, it gets weird. It says that this actual equation is associated with advanced theoretical research being evaluated and reviewed. and that it's possibly linked to a UAP UFO investigation or exotic materials that require these tools to model. These mathematical frameworks are common in frontier physics, including the efforts to describe extra dimensions, exotic matter, and non-standard space-time geometrics. The fucking chronovisor and UAPs and exotic space material. The reason they can't release these files is because it straight up has some of the world's hidden knowledge. Like, we think everything's at the Vatican. What if this is the only book or the only files outside of the Vatican that include DNA research, esoteric information, astrology, and everything in between, down to the fucking time travel and the chronovisor? We need the files now. And it would make sense why they would take you-know-who out, Mr. Kirk, in order to cover this shit up.
Grand Rising, everybody. Yo, I don't know if y'all experienced this ever or even last night or whatever the case is. However, I wake up in the night, go to the bathroom, and I always I wake up almost every night, I go to the bathroom, and every night I check the time when I get in the bed. Last night I checked the time, and the time said 3:33. And then the phone kind of glitched. Then I look at it. I look at the phone. I see that it says 3:33. I get ready. I turn my phone over because I don't trust all these camera businesses. So I always lay my phone down. And I turn my phone over. But as I'm turning it over, I see this glitch. And I look at my phone. And then it said 4:01. I don't know about you. I'm still standing in the same spot. I still had the phone in my hand. How did it go from 3:33 to 4:01 within a matter of seconds? And I kid you not, I was like, babe, you see this? My phone, and she's dead ass Slayton. She ain't hearing me. I nudged her and everything. She wasn't even hearing me. Anyways, I'm looking at the phone and I'm like, I'm waiting for it to glitch again, basically. I'm waiting for that time to say 5 something or 6 something. I'm telling you, time does not exist. It exists when it needs to exist, and that's it. And that's to keep everybody marching. Keeping everybody on that rat race. I could not believe I seen that glitch happen. It's plain as day. I was not half asleep. I wake up every night around the same time, go to the bathroom. Lights are on. My eyes are... It's not like I'm walking in the dark or anything like that. I'm turning my lights on, going to the bathroom. Come back, look at my... Just to see how much longer I have to sleep before my alarm goes off in the morning. Anyway, I wanted to know if any of you guys experienced anything like that. And if so, share it in the comments because I would like to know. I've always heard about it and I've always understood it. Like, obviously time doesn't exist. Like, we're well aware of that. But to see it happen before your very eyes, go from 333. And the first thing that I thought was, ooh, 333. I wonder what that angel number means personally for myself. I mean, I know what they mean, but personally for myself, because I always go about what I'm thinking about. So whatever I'm thinking about is like my angel numbers are confirmation towards what I'm thinking about. But for it to flip within seconds to 401, I'm like, what does that mean? Anyways, if you guys experienced this, leave it down in the comments. Let me
I
know
once
what
slept
you
on a chair and found
experienced, how
myself
that
on the
went, or
bed.
tag me in a
Quite
video or
mind
something,
blowing.
because I
Please
really
tell us if
feel
you have
like
ever
this is something.
experienced
This
any
is
of
really
these
something.
glitches.
Anyway, y'all have a blessed day.
Wow, this is very strange.
So I'm realizing that people don't realize that the body is quite literally the cross. Jesus died on the cross, yeah. I mean, so is everybody. You're gonna die in your body, and you're gonna take it with you. You're gonna look like you died from the outside, but from the inside to you, you just woke up. Which is why Jesus told you you're gonna have to pick up your own cross. You're gonna have to pick up your own body and rise and walk. You do that every morning. Your inner body, which is your mind, which is not literally your brain, but is your brain, your heart, and your gut, they work together as a solar system, and they tell your body to get up after it's been traveling the astrals, right? Looking for a next body so that you can be born again. this body is the temple. Why is the body the temple? Why is it a brick house? Why is it a casket? Because you can't penetrate it. You can't get through it. Because it's an ice wall. It's a firmament. And this firmament, this ice wall, right? This casket is housing the realm of the dead, the Holy Spirit, which is one, but all of you, all lifetimes that you ever live and will ever live are in this vessel. Those are quite literally your ancestors. You, your veins, your arteries, that is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Your body, which is the temple that houses God, is the Garden of Eden, which is the tree of life. You literally have lives being carried by you in your vessel every single day. Yeah, dude, it's not a scary story. It's not a scary story. And if you think it's an eternal hellfire, I should be scared of death story, you don't know the real story.
What? Lots of information going on out there in the world. Meet this Greek robot, my friend. The adorable robot who crashed Nvidia's.
Your name is Greg. Greg is a little girl. So you learn how to walk in the virtual world, and look at you now. Can you jump? Wow.
What?
Can you dance?
Aye.
Well, I think I just want to let you know I am the keynote presenter. So I need you to behave. I need you to behave for a few seconds. Could you sit? Sit. Hey, you know what we should do? Let's take a picture of everybody. Yeah. Bam, bam.
Aye, maybe that thing was remote controlled. I don't believe it's real.
Mahal, Yapon, mahal, mahal lang ganyan. Kasi sige, buwan. Okay na.
Guy.
Mapahungit pa man ka.
Aye. Oh, my friends, this world is full of good vibe
It's fair to
souls.
say that 80% of the world's problems involve old men hanging on and who are afraid of death and insignificance, and they won't let go. And they build pyramids and they put their names on everything, and they get they're very anxious about it.
History is not short of those figures, sadly. Neither is the present.
Hey, that is bitter but still sounds very true.
Okay, you ready for this one? On Reddit, one user wrote that time skipped forward impossibly. He wrote, "My alarm went off at 7 a.m. and suddenly it was 8:30. And when he checked every clock, his watch, his phone, his wall clock, they all matched. So an hour and a half was just gone." Another person shared that time just stopped. They wrote that they got home, sat down to watch a movie, and suddenly it was an hour later with no memory of how that time passed. And on TikTok, entire threads, hashtag missing time glitch and time glitch are blowing up right now. People posting stories all over the place.
Yeah,
They're
this one has
comparing
happened to
timestamps
me.
and everyone's questioning reality. So 5 people in one town losing the same hour is not as far-fetched as it sounds. Because if even one person's clock just jumps ahead, it starts feeling like something's off, like something's broken, like something's glitching in the background of reality, right? So what if time's not broken though? What if time is actually skipping?
I also experienced a time glitch yesterday. I did lots of things and the time was not moving.
Joe Biden, President of the United States, and this is Mitch McConnell, who is head of the Senate. They're both retired now, okay? But they were both in their 80s, and they were the two most powerful men in America. He can't walk straight, okay? Whenever he walks, he trips. This guy is even worse because, look at this. The guy's brain dead. The guy is literally brain dead in public, okay? He'll be like, and like, no matter what you do, he's like, this is brain dead, okay? This is a brain freeze. The guy should not be one of the most powerful men in America, but he is. That's the world we live in, because he will not give up power. This is Dianne Feinstein. She died in office. She was 90 years old. She was 90 years old and she was still working, and she died in her office. And she was a senator in the United States. These people are literally fighting for life. Okay? They refuse to give up power. They only give up power if they die. This is the US Senate, again, the most powerful political institution in America. These are people who are above the standard retirement age, which is 62, okay? This guy's 90 years old and he's still working. 90 years old and he's still working in the Senate. And he doesn't want to retire. Chuck Grassley. What does it mean to have a world run by old people? Now, maybe in school, maybe at home you've been taught that old people are wise. They're tolerant. They're generous. They're benevolent. No, guys. No. The difference between these three generations, young, mature, and elderly, are pretty stark. If you're young, you're rebellious. You want to change the system. If you're mature, you want things to move slowly, okay? But if you're elderly, you're reactionary, meaning you don't want anything to change. Okay? If you change anything, they get upset and slap you. That's reactionary. Young people are creative. Mature people want growth. But elderly people care first and foremost about safety. Young people are open-minded. Mature people want consensus, meaning they want everyone to get along. But elderly people are stubborn. They want things their way. So we are now living in a gerontocracy which is ruled by elderly people, okay? So we're going to live in a reactionary, stubborn system only concerned about the safety of these people. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that the world will go into lockdown. When there's a virus, guess what? We're all going to have to shut down because old people are afraid of catching germs.
What? Wow, this is crazy. Even in this side of the world, the people ruling are all old.